Nicole doing?
Pregnant.
Megan Moore.
Hey, Megan.
Hey.
You're the only one on right now.
Super, so I can talk trash about everybody.
That's right.
Did you ever get your packet?
Megan,
Yeah,
did you ever get your packet?
yeah, I got it from Jason.
Okay.
He was able to get it off of Facebook and send it to me, so I never did get it from Deb. I don't know. Weird.
Huh.
She got everything else that I'd sent her today.
Weird. We're on a pretty decent delay.
Really?
Yeah. Probably about a 60-second delay right now. Well, I'm using my hotspot instead of that way. That one works just fine. Hopefully. We'll see.
You're going through her computer on that?
Yep.
So if you're picking up the Wi-Fi through the library, it's two different ones.
Is it? Okay.
Because her computer is hardwired to the thing
Gotcha.
here, and then they've got a Wi-Fi that's open to the public. We have a private one and we have a public one.
Huh.
What is the focus?
August.
August.
Mid-August, yeah.
That's an awful time to be pregnant.
Yes. Well, Raleigh was born in September 2nd, so she's like, this is yet another Old Settlers that I can't drink.
I had Michael in July and had Christopher in August. So I know exactly what she's going through.
It's a mess.
Mary came along in January. He was different. Actually, Christopher was born Old Settlers weekend.
Really? Well, we may not have Old Settlers this year, so maybe she won't be missing out on much. Yeah. Did we have any complaints? Aside from water?
Water, yeah. Actually, it wasn't too bad with water.
You just got 21 phone calls in what, 2 days?
One day. The water hasn't been all that bad. The kids racing up and down the streets on Fridays.
We do also, Kelly Emke up at the school just sent an email out, and Ken sent it to me saying that there are kids in the parking lot that are being disrespectful late at night. So I don't know what we can do about those, but we do have no noise ordinance that we can.
Anna Baldwin, I think, complaining about the kids across the street and parking lot.
Mhm.
And then also we have had complaints about the ATVs and UTVs racing in town. And then one certain dog, we finally figured out who it belonged to.
Is it a Rottweiler?
I haven't had any complaints about that one.
Mm.
This one's a black dog with a red collar. Megan's one of my complainers on that one.
Connor is wanting 6 chickens.
Did that one print out?
Yeah, it did. You can see it for the most part.
Here's a decent one if you want.
Just like you.
The copy is just to print out right now.
Did Melissa fill this out or did Connor fill it out?
I don't know.
I assume that Melissa did. So they got fancy this one. Got that back. And no complaints about that, huh?
I don't know. I haven't sent anything. I got one that was called that said they were okay with it. So.
Well, that's good. My mother-in-law works with Steve Hively's wife,
Really?
I think, yeah, in Madrid. Eric came in, didn't he, today to turn the water off?
He
Get it out of his
called
name.
me.
Did he?
Yeah, he said that he gave Mayor Hudson told him that 2 weeks ago to tell him about the BOA and PZ thing.
I told him to send me an email and he never.
He says, "Do you want a written letter?" I says, "Yeah." He never sent it to me either.
Yeah.
Dee's gonna be really upset, so we're gonna have to
He
post
was
that.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve.
Are you there?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. We got Megan on the line, you on the line, and myself, and then Deb's here with me as well. We're on about a 30 to 60-second delay on YouTube right now, so if you're following along on that, you're going to be delayed significantly.
Right. Okay.
Got to try to keep my agendas separate because I got the school agenda on one hand and then this on the other. And they run it basically the same, but there's some.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have gotten two public
I
jobs
know.
at the same time.
I should not have.
Could be going bonkers with both city and school.
Between the wastewater treatment plant and then this bond issue that we're going to be starting in the winter. It's just crazy.
Hi, Alex.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
We got a quorum, so that's good.
Is this being live streamed on YouTube again?
Yes, but I told Steve, on my computer anyway, we're running about a 30 or 60-second delay. I don't know if the internet's just bogged down or what, but for following along on that, just expect a significant delay.
Doug Miller.
Hi, Doug.
Hello there. Wes Farron Snyder.
Hi, Wes.
Hello there.
Don't get you the EMS.
Is the YouTube running?
It is. It's running about a 30 to 60-second delay. So if you're watching that, you can expect significant delays on that end.
EMS report. I believe I have that.
Should be right off.
I just have the fire report.
DF library stuff.
Oh, I do have EMS and I have
Okay.
library. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll start here in about 2 minutes. We'll hopefully be able to chug this along. Okay.
It's not as much as I thought it was going to be. I think most of it is those 3-lined agenda items, you know.
I told her I had a meeting tonight.
Your mother. Do you have a printout of the sheriff's report? If not, I'll pull it up.
I should.
Did I?
I probably didn't give it to you because I
Okay.
usually have it for
I'll just describe what we had.
All right, I got 6:30 on the dot. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, starting with roll call. Steve?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Ken? Hearing silence, we'll move on to number 3, approval of agenda. You guys should have that approval in front of you. If you don't, I can read it to you if you really want me to. Is there a motion? Oh, go ahead.
The agenda with the corrections that the council and mayor report be number 8, consent agenda 9, and adjourn 10. Second.
Okay. Moved by Steve, second by Doug.
Connor Johnson.
Okay, so we got motion by Steve to move council and mayor reports to item number 8. Was that correct, Steve?
Yeah, being numbered as number 8.
Okay.
And consent agenda 9 and adjourn 10.
Okay, so that was a motion made by Steve. It was second by Alex. Steve?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And Ken?
Yes.
All right. The agenda is approved. Number 4, we have Citizens Forum. Are there any citizens on the line that would like to speak on anything other than what is already on the agenda? I heard Connor, you are on. And your item is actually item 7A, it looks like. So if you have anything.
Yes, I believe so.
All right, perfect. If do you have anything else that you'd like to share with us aside from that that particular item?
No, nothing at all.
All right, sounds good. Any other citizens on the line that'd like to share anything? All right, moving on to item number 5A, the sheriff's report. I have that in front of me. Looks like a pretty typical report from them. I don't see anything that is any different. So let me look through here quick. It looks like monthly hours for the month of April in Maxwell was 232.8 hours they spent here. Patrol time is sitting at 155.5. And then the town calls for service, they're at 77.27 hours. So anybody have any questions on the sheriff's report?
No.
Okay. Moving on to the fire department. Tony sent out his list of stuff here. It looks like we have had 3 calls with 12 people, no injuries, no maintenance, special events coming up. They have and are using the new handheld radios on Storycom. They're waiting on them to come to switch the truck radios. Current future plans, there's nothing new, and the city doesn't need to do anything. Any questions on the fire report? All right, hearing none. Moving on to item 5C, the EMS department report. They had 11 calls from April 1st to May 1st. Out of those 11, 7 were responded to. The number of personnel on call was 12, and the number of certified personnel on the calls were 7. No fire assists, no injuries, no maintenance needed to be done, no training, no concerns or special events. The one comment he does have on here is to please wash your hands. Questions on that?
No.
Perfect. Moving on to item 5D, the library. What we have here is the library report. Looks like they will be reviewing the COVID-19 future of the library in the next meeting. Director's report has 0 books, 0 DVDs, 0 attendance, obviously because they were shut down during this time. The bridges were at 125 and on hold at 62. They are going to reopen, but it is only going to be by appointment only on Mondays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Thursdays 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Like I said, by appointment only. That can be arranged via Facebook or call them to arrange those appointments. A little bit more information about those appointments. They'll be 30 minutes long with a 15-minute cleaning break in between each appointment. And they are asking that anybody that comes inside wears a mask. If you do not have a mask or cannot wear them, you can contact staff and they'll make items available curbside. All return items will need to be put in the drop box located in the front of the building. Questions about the library report? Hearing none, moving to item 5E. This is going to be the Public Works report. Looks like Tony's got, for the streets category, they're getting a price and list of streets that need to be seal coated. The park, they're going to be spraying for weeds and have started cutting grass. As far as the water department, it looks like they've replaced 3 valves on Main Street and Broad Street. They replaced the valve and installed a new valve at Main Street and 2nd Street. Replaced the valve at Baldwin Street and 4th Street. They're waiting to get a bill for what has been done to see what they can do next. The leak guy came and listened for leaks, found none. Sewer, there's nothing new. Cemetery, they have officially picked up the flowers and they're going to try to spray for weeds as well. Update on the truck. Carl Chevrolet was the lowest truck price, and truck equipment is the lowest blade and body price. It is my understanding that we have a few questions for Tony in regard to that, and we can get into that in council reports. Any questions or concerns on the Public Works?
Yeah, is the Public Works, is the city going to mark the roads that are going to be treated for dust control? Unlike last year where you had to pick up your own flag.
Right. I think I don't know if we are going to mark them or if we just need to tell the dust control people what streets they need to go to. We'll make sure that we get into contact with Tony to let him know, because I believe, what was it, 2 meetings ago, we approved that the city would pay full cost for that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think that Kevin DeHaven, I've seen a couple of flags over there on South Street and 325th asking if those were fouled. That had something to do with the county, but he said something about maybe having the city contact the county to get the flag. So I don't know.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
what he said.
We will reach out to Tony and get that moving.
Okay.
Anything else for Public Works?
Do we know when?
Oh, go ahead.
Do we know when chip and seal is going to happen? It seems to be getting later every year. Ideally, it'll be done soon enough that we can get it packed down, and the heat from the sun will help us. And then we won't have so much gravel floating around like that the last couple. School's going to be starting earlier this year, potentially, not decided definitely. But the sooner we can get that scheduled, I think the better it's going to be for everybody.
We will let Tony know that. I know right now he's just getting a price on the list of streets that need to be seal coated. But we'll definitely relay that message back to him. Anything else? Perfect. Moving on to item 5F, the city clerk report. You have Deb's report in front of you. Basic information. We have the most of the problems figured out with dealing with the COVID-19 issues. She wants to know if we are still having citywide cleanup. My recommendation is that we don't. But of course, that is up to you guys as council. What are your thoughts?
What was the date scheduled?
May 16th.
I suggest that we do not have the cleanup this year.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion on that particular topic for city clerk? Okay. We will go ahead and cancel the citywide cleanup for 2020. And that might be something that if things get relaxed during the summer, maybe that's something we revisit. But for now, we'll go ahead and cancel that. The other thing she's got down here, the outside meters are slowly going out. As far as complaints go, lots of dog complaints, complaints of ATVs and UTVs running around being reckless, and the complaints about vehicles racing up and down the streets. As far as those things go, I would like your guys' opinions on how we take care of that. I have a feeling if they're on a public road, then that would be a sheriff's department issue. But go ahead and discuss that if you like.
I know, like Friday night, I happened to just sit out on that stage after the scoop loop started.
Yep.
Several cars, I mean, I really like the scoop loop, I really like that idea.
Yep.
But safety wise, several cars, kids hanging out the windows, out of sunroofs, a convertible with people riding on the back trunk. And then I noticed one vehicle, I believe it was like a Suburban, very loud muffler, and exhaust just flying up and down Main Street.
Yeah. I received those same complaints as well. Talking to several of our citizens, it sounds like a lot of those people aren't even from Maxwell. They just heard that there was a Scoop the Loop night and they came up here, whether it be from Nevada or somewhere else. I'm not sure as far as legalities what the city can do with that, but it's definitely a concern that's out there, not only with us as council, but with the community as well. They really don't want those people to ruin a good thing. So I appreciate you bringing that up, Ken.
All of the activities that Ken talked about are illegal, and the only one that can deal with moving traffic is the sheriff.
Okay.
Which we pay him to do.
Right.
So if there is a Scoop the Loop night, we should notify the sheriff and ask him to be down in town to keep a lid on it. And we should post on Facebook that the sheriff will be here to ensure that there is no illegal activity.
We can
Yeah,
certainly
I like that.
we can certainly do that.
Do that also.
I'm not 100% sure if there will be another Scoop the Loop night. They've been discussing some things for graduation, such as a parade, but I can discuss that more when it comes to the council minutes as well. So, any other talk for the city clerk report?
One of the items on the report is that there were a lot of dog complaints. We do not have in our packet any complaint forms. Were they officially filed or were they just mentioned?
Just mentioned.
Just mentioned.
So a complaint, which is just mentioned, doesn't exist.
Okay. We will relay that to those folks who call in and have something to say about them, that nothing can be done unless there is a formal complaint with the city clerk at City Hall.
I was told by Cindy James that she filed some reports last month. We did not see them on the agenda. I was wondering if they were just word of mouth complaints or if they were official complaints.
They weren't official. They were notes written without a signature.
Did you hear that, Steve?
They were submitted without a signature.
They were just notes that were submitted without a signature. It wasn't an official complaint report that was filled out. It was just a note on a piece of paper without a signature.
Should those be submitted to the council under complaint mayor reports so that council is aware of them, or do you want to just ignore them?
That is up to you guys as council. How do you feel about that? Obviously, there's a process involved when filing a complaint. And as far as dealing with that complaint, there might be some compliance issues that you run into with them not filling out an actual complaint form or signing a document, a legally binding document. But you guys can go ahead and discuss that. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, if Cindy came in and gave a piece of paper, even though it was not signed,
She didn't come in. It was in the Dropbox.
makes it an official document.
She dropped it off in the Dropbox, Steve.
So we don't know who it came from.
We do not know who it came from, but I'm guessing based on the handwriting, we know who it came from.
So again, it wasn't signed.
Correct.
Look at it as just a note then.
Yep.
And when it's just a note from a person, then we ask them to sign, fill out a complaint and sign it, whether they're going to go to court or not, so that we have an official complaint that we can track.
Correct.
Is that what the council wants to do?
That I would assume that would be the correct route to go. If that person physically came in and handed a piece of paper over with pictures saying, I want to complain about this, let me file a complaint and sign my name.
Or send an email, because we have the building locked down and no one can come in and do anything right now.
Yep. I think in this situation, the only hard part is we're guessing on who the person was, because there was no signature line saying who this note was from.
Okay.
So I guess going forward, if we were to have someone put in the Dropbox a note stating that there was a complaint, there's a dog on the loose, we will contact that person. If they want to fill out an official complaint, we will put that in the packet for the next upcoming meeting. If they do not want to fill out an official complaint, it's like it never happened.
It's like, you know, they just have to, with the neighbor or whatever, then they just need to get along that way. Or if you want to take it further, then
Absolutely. Anything else for item 5F, city clerk report?
yeah, I noticed, are there only 8 ATVs and UTVs and golf carts that are registered in town? That's it?
For this year.
For this year, for 2020.
This year?
Yep.
These are new ones.
Yeah, these are new ones as of 2020. So everybody's expires right at the end of the year.
March
Yeah.
1st.
On March 21st.
Okay.
So as
So
of
there are only 8 permitted for this next year so far.
correct.
Okay.
What else do you guys have?
We have on the treasurer's report, 2 items that were negative on the cash balances. Capital project fund, and both of them are capital project funds, so those going to be resolved before the end of the year.
Yes.
Do we have transfers that
Yes.
And so those will be done at the next council meeting?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. I think there are four, like the four that come to five with them today. What was that? Did you say there were two? I believe there are four that are negative. One of them that's negative is the Owen Tip District. Okay. We can't do anything about that. No, you're right. There's another one, the wastewater treatment facility, and we're waiting for city council action, which will take place tonight, and then hopefully we'll be able to do a drawdown. There's two more. There's street lighting total, $593.
Budget.
I think you're looking at the budget. How much? I'm sorry. Yep. Thank you.
No worries. Does everybody feel comfortable now about the treasurer's report?
Yep.
All right. We will then move on to item number 6A. These are going to be public hearings. So the item number 6A that we will be opening up here shortly would be the authorization of a loan and disbursement agreement and the issuance of notes to evidence the obligations of the city thereunder. Do I have a motion to open? Oh, go ahead.
When we open the public hearing and that the mayor read the required announcement.
Okay. That is moved by Steve. Second by Megan. Do I have to take a roll call on that? Okay. Megan.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Ken.
Yeah.
Doug.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
We are now open for public meeting. The mayor's announced that this was the time and place for the public hearing and meeting on the matter of the authorization of a loan disbursement agreement by and between the city and the Iowa Finance Authority, and the issuance of the Iowa Finance Authority of not to exceed $591,000 sewer revenue capital loan notes to evidence the obligations of the city under said loan and disbursement agreement, in order to provide funds to pay costs of acquisitions, construction, reconstruction, extending, remodeling, improving, repairing, and equipping all or part of the municipal sewer system, and that the notice of the proposed action by the city council to institute proceedings for the authorization of the loan and disbursement agreement and the issuance of the notes had been published pursuant to the provisions of sections 384.82, 384.24a, and 384.83 of the Code of Iowa as amended. The mayor then asked the city council whether any written objection had been filed by any city resident or property owner to the proposal. The city clerk advised the mayor and the city council of said objections have been filed. Then the mayor will call for an oral objection to the proposal, and blank were made, whereupon the mayor declared the time for receiving oral and written objections to be closed. Are there any comments regarding from the public for this item 6A?
Did we receive any written objections?
No.
0.
Move the public hearing be closed, and that, the clerk is directed to insert no in both the blanks on that, that there were no written objections and none were made.
Moved by Steve,
I'll second this, Doug.
second by Doug. Doug?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Discussion.
I believe we're ready for the resolution.
All right, you will be ready for the resolution. This
I move that the resolution be adopted.
Moved by Steve to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Second by Megan. Steve?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
The resolution has passed. Moving on to item 6B, first reading for an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, City of Maxwell, Iowa, provisions pertaining to the water service charges and sewer service charges. Is there a motion to open up the public hearing? Moved by Alex.
Second.
Second by Ken. Ken?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Steve? The
Yes.
The public hearing is now open. Is there any public that would have any discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make it.
Moved by, I think it was Doug, second by Ken.
Sure.
Steve?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Council, is there any discussion for item 6B over the ordinance?
I move the ordinance.
Motion to move by Steve.
Second.
Second by Alex. Ken.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Resolution, the first reading has been passed. Item 6C, first reading for an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, City of Maxwell by amending provisions pertaining to stop or yield signs required, water rates, and solid waste control. Is there a motion to open item 6C up for a public hearing?
Mr. Ken, I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ken,
Second. Yes.
second by Steve. Megan.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
We are now open for public hearing for item 6C. Is there any public input? Hearing none, is there a motion to close public hearing for item 6C?
Ken, the motion to close.
Okay, moved by Doug, second by Ken.
Sure.
Megan.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Ken. Public hearing is now closed for item 6C. Is there any council discussion?
I move 6C.
Moved by Doug,
Second.
second by Steve. Steve,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
Item 6C, first reading has been moved. Item 6D, public hearing for city budget amendment fiscal year 2020, amendment number 3, which is a resolution amending the current budget for fiscal year ending June 30, 2020. Is there a motion to open this up for a public hearing? Item 6D.
So moved. So moved. Second.
Moved by Alex, second by Doug. Steve.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Item 6D is now in a public hearing. Is there any public input? Hearing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing for item 6D?
Ken, so moved.
Moved by Ken.
Yes.
Second by Alex.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Is there any discussion for council for item 6D?
Yes, line number 9 has $112,940. Will we receive that money yet this fiscal year?
That should be the loan, the wastewater loan.
That would be the wastewater treatment plant loan.
And will we receive it this fiscal year?
Hopefully.
We're hoping.
What is Wes on the line?
Wes?
Wes, are you there? I am here. Sorry, I had to unmute my phone. What is the probability that we will receive that money yet this fiscal year?
I think the hearing that, or the public hearing A that we had is the next step. I think it should go through. Deb, have you heard anything differently on the release of those funds once we go through all their hoops?
No, they thought that we would have the money by the middle of June.
In case you didn't hear that, she said they thought we would have the money by the middle of June.
Oh, and we're looking, we would need it end of June or 1st of June?
We need it by June 30. Fiscal year starts July 1.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's, if they say middle of June, I tend to believe them. I mean, once they have the I's dotted and the T's crossed, I don't think there's anything holding up their disbursement of that.
It'll just be tight. Is there any reason that we actually show this as being received this fiscal year?
Do you have anything? Is there like an email or anything that has that information in it?
Yeah, I don't have it.
No. Deb says she doesn't have anything. There's no email that has officially been sent out saying we're absolutely going to have that money by the end of the fiscal year. I believe that's just.
What is the impact if we do not have the money yet this fiscal year?
We'll be over in that.
We'll be over in that particular bucket. Wes, do you have any input on that as well?
No, I think that's a budgeting financial thing, and I'm not sure what happens there. It shouldn't have any impact to the project.
Okay.
Because really what it is it's kind of catching up on the P&D loan that is going to get rolled into our construction loan ultimately. So basically it's just reimbursement for expenses already incurred
Gotcha.
under that P&D loan. So it shouldn't affect the P&D or the construction loan unless it affects something in the city's bond rating or something like that through the SRF pro forma. And now I'm talking way over my head. So that's the only thing I could see as an issue.
We can certainly, I don't know if this would be a question for a bond council, if they would have an answer for that. But from the sounds of it, as long as we stay on track with all of our ordinances and getting everything in place, we should have that money by the middle of June.
Now, this is, Deb's going to have to do an annual financial report at the close of the fiscal year, sometime around November. And if that cash is not deposited this fiscal year, according to this budget amendment, then we will have $112,000 less revenue and still have all the expenses that we show, and so we will be more negative than this budget amendment would indicate. If that's not a problem, then great, let's move forward.
Okay.
And I think only Deb can answer that question.
Yeah, and I think she, go ahead.
The other question I had is, what is the, on line 12, what is the $3,668?
That's the money we got from the old printer to pay for the old printer.
Yep.
Turning in the old printer?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Would you feel pretty confident in saying that we're going to get that money in June?
They told me we would.
Okay. So Deb says if they told her that we would be receiving that money in mid-June. So I think right now there doesn't seem to be a stressor on our side at this point.
Okay, and that's the case. I move the resolution.
Okay, moved by Steve. Is there a second?
Second by Ken.
Okay.
Second by Ken. Ken.
Yeah.
Doug.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Item 60 passes. All right, moving on to business, item 7A. On the phone with us right now, we have Connor Johnson. Connor, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, perfect. So we have in our packet, we have a copy of the permit application for poultry at the address of 604 7th Street. And it looks like he wants to have 6 hens. And then there's also a drawing of the chicken coop with fencing, it looks like. Connor, is there anything that you want to tell the council?
Yeah, I guess so. Before I moved into town, I had a lot of experience raising chickens for in-school projects and doing it for my family. So I have experience, but if there's anything that you guys would suggest, or any questions or concerns that you guys would have, I would like to know them and value your guys' input on making this maybe a better, if there's a problem that I would like to have a solution to it, is all. Well, Connor, you got the packet from the city that has the standards for the number of, the size of the building and everything for chickens? Correct, yes, it's the living space, I believe is what you're talking about, recommended exercise room and square footage of the living space. Yes, it looks like you more than comply with that. The only concern that I have, this is Steve Gass, the only concern that I have is cannot tell from the diagram you submitted where you are placing this on your property.
Okay, so in the picture, where the coop would be sitting, and then there's a line, that is in an L shape, and the coop is sitting in the corner of that. That corner of where the coop is sitting is on the northeast side of the house. So my house would be to the west side of that coop.
Okay, so it's gonna be even with the front of your house?
Correct, yes. And my privacy fence that I have, in line with the front of my house, it will be inside this privacy fence, but in line with the house, correct.
The, ordinance requires that you be, 50 feet from, your neighbor's house.
Okay,
And I believe this says you're only gonna be 45. So you're gonna have to move it another 5 feet.
yes, I do have another location that was, the coop was placed on where I would like it to be, but, 45 feet did, put me at that measurement and not that requirement. So the coop can be moved to accommodate another 10 feet, to the other side of where my trailer is sitting, which is not being in the diagram. So the coop can be moved to accommodate that 50 feet.
Okay. The ordinance also requires that any structure on the property, any accessory building be, no closer than, 6 feet from a rear property line and 7 feet from the side property line. So you'll have to take that into consideration also. Will that be a problem?
No, that shouldn't be a problem. So can you repeat that again? I must have missed it. You said it was how far from the side property line?
Accessory building must be 7 feet from a side property line and 6 feet from a rear property line.
Okay.
So not knowing where you're gonna put this, I gave you both dimensions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm 50 feet from a neighbor.
Yes. No, this shouldn't be a problem. The coop can be moved to accommodate all three of these, the 50 feet from the neighbors, the property line, and the accessory building. So that can definitely be achieved. I can do that tomorrow and take care of that. And then the exercise pen, it will still have the same amount of room and square footage as it does now.
Okay,
It's also worth noting that go ahead.
go ahead.
It's also worth noting that the city did mail out the letters to the residents as is normal protocol, and there were no complaints with that as well. So
Okay.
I move the, approval of the poultry permit subject to, the application and, the requirement that the, hen house be 50 feet from a neighbor's property, 6 feet from a rear yard and 7 feet from a side yard.
motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Megan. Steve,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken.
Yeah.
Motion it has passed. Connor, if you you are permitted now, I guess, to have those chickens on your lot, and as long as you abide by the updates that we have given you today.
Yes, definitely everything is okay.
Thanks, Connor. You have a great day.
Good luck, Connor. Yep, you too. Thank you.
Yep. All right, item number 7B, a motion to approve scope of work for Main Street ADA ramp project. So if you guys remember correctly, we had Wes work on a little project in front of the post office to make that a little bit more ADA compliant. He got the layout to us. I think that was last month that you guys saw the picture of what it was going to look like. And this is the actual scope of work that he has in front of us. So is there any discussion on this? Wes, do you have anything that you want to add as well?
No, I don't think so. You cut out on there. And so this is for the design work to put that together. Is that what you clarified there?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's not the actual construction, it's just the design document so that we can go out to bid on it.
Yep.
Yeah. I just make sure that, and the biggest bulk of this is just making sure that it's ADA compliant because there's a lot of sticky restrictions on that. And so I've actually, I've got our road building transportation experts on the ADA compliance on board with that. So they'll be able to be most efficient on cranking that out to make it meet all those requirements, no issues.
Perfect. Any other discussion by council?
In the project description, you say it's approximately 200 feet north of Broad Street. My measurement could take it as far as 160 feet north instead of 200. That's not an issue, right, Wes?
No, in fact, no. We do want to get confirmation from you or anybody who's interested on the exact location of that. We took that based off of our initial just look at where that is, but it would probably be good to have kind of an insight or on-site field meeting to just narrow that down and pinpoint that, but that's definitely possible. I think the biggest thing is we just want to stay out from underneath the overhangs there in front of the leaking hall. It would be a subject.
Right. Also, in scope of services, A2, A3. The last sentence says larger sites will require benchmarks at intervals not to exceed 1,000 feet horizontal. That's not going to come into play, right?
Yeah, that's our standard language the guys told for that. So yeah, that wouldn't apply to this one.
And in number 5, you say contours to be shown in 1 foot interval. Will contours be drawn on this?
Probably not. Again, that's standard language. This one's going to be put together with spot elevations, so it's going to be detailed down because the contours won't show up. It's too flat in that area, so it'll be put together with spot elevations for getting down to the nearest tenth to hundredth of an inch.
And I just wanted to make sure we weren't going to be charged for spots 1,000 feet away and contours.
No, but it pretty much is, a lot of that's our standard language for topo survey, and if it doesn't apply, we just don't do it.
Okay.
Cool.
I move the scope of services to be paid from the road use tax fund.
Moved by Steve to use the road use tax fund to approve the scope of work. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Ken. Ken?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, items.
Oh, go. Tony is getting estimates for amount of road work that's going to be done. That the cost for this ramp, when we get down to an actual bid, that part of it's going to come out of the road use tax fund, so it will decrease the amount of the length of road that we're going to be able to do. And I'd like to know from the council whether they would like to spend part of it also out of local option sales tax, since it's
a community betterment.
Council thoughts? Here, I guess. You guys still awake? Yeah. Okay. Did what Steve say? Does everybody think that's a good idea?
It would be unusual to do approximately 50-50 between road use tax fund and local option sales tax, and I think the council should decide what percentages they want at a future meeting.
All right. We will make that for our June, what is that? June 1st meeting. Perfect. Moving on to item 7C, this is all West. Status update and the proposed schedule, presentation of building alternatives, and a request for direction in final design of building alternatives.
Yes, so we are getting down to the wire on our treatment plant process, and I'm looking for my notes here. Oh, there it is. Okay. We're finalizing the design, working with our HVAC guys to get the final details on that. Working with the DNR, working with SRF and environmental clearances. It's a big messy pot. But there's one big item that we need or wanted to get input from the city on because we've had previous discussions on it, and that's regarding the cost of the building. So we did some alternative analysis on some different building options. If you recall, we discussed this previously. And so we've come up with 3 alternatives. The first alternative is basically there's one main building that houses the blowers and the electrical systems as the original plan was. And that's the cost for that. You guys are already aware of what we've done previously. The alternative 2 we looked at was where we significantly reduced the footprint of that building, so it basically encompasses just the electrical and controls, as well as those small workspace on site, and then leaving placing the blowers on a concrete pad that would basically be a building floor should those blowers ever want to be enclosed in a building. Then the third alternative is no building at all. All the electrical and control panels are exterior type panels. And all of that would still be on the building pad, but there would be no walls to it at all. The options where we have the blowers outside and not in the building, those blowers would still have sound attenuating enclosures on them. All the mufflers, those same kind of things. So there would still be the sound attenuation that we can do with an outside blower. It does help quite a bit in reducing that sound. The thought last time was that if we see some savings with not building a building, do as much sound attenuation as we can, then maybe if that becomes an issue, the building could be added later. So all that being said, alternative 1 is kind of the base cost that you guys have seen. The savings to going with alternative 2, which is where we have a building for just the electrical room, the blowers are located outside, with a savings of about $90,000 over alternative 1. Alternative 3 then, where we don't have any building, it's just everything on a concrete pad, the savings of about $140,000 compared to alternative 1. And what was the price on alternative 1 again, Wes? The overall price is like $660,000, but that's a little bit deceiving because that includes all the electrical, all the controls, the generator. There's a lot of stuff in there that it's hard to break out. So I think that overall is like that $3.5 million for the project. So from that estimate, alternative 2 would save $90,000. Alternative 3 would save $140,000. I will caution with alternative 3. Oh yeah, go ahead, Doug.
I was going to ask, but it's still going to be up $400,000 from the original price.
Yeah, it looks like it at this point anyway. I can't remember how that works in with the alternative stuff down at the pump station, but yeah, it is up a little bit. gonna say a little bit of a caution with that alternative 3, where we have no building. What that leaves is all those electrical panels and control panels are all exterior. They're exterior rated panels, but it does leave them exposed to the elements. It can decrease along lifespan. Anytime anything has to be worked on, it's out of the elements. If we have an electrical or a control issue that needs to be worked on and inclement weather, chances of getting a service technician out there to work on electrical panels in the rain is kind of iffy. So there is challenges with that type of installation. That middle installation, or the middle alternative 2, where we just have the electrical room and the floors outside, that has all those electrical and control panels inside, which does protect them, helps deliver longevity, and then helps provide some working space should they ever controlled working space, should they ever need to be worked on. It also does lessen the cost of those electrical panels because you don't have to have the exterior rated enclosures and that sort of thing.
So Wes, I got a question for you. So $400,000, I think, to a city our size, that's a pretty significant increase, especially when you're talking about the loan amount that we have and the area that we have to work with. Can you tell me why is there this such a big increase? Like, are these Morton buildings, or are we building like a $600,000 mansion over there?
No. These are just plain basic block, concrete CMU block buildings. Morton buildings, when you have large noisy equipment in it, sometimes you just typically don't see them. It makes it extra noisy inside, and then there's a concern of it just acting like a big drum for any of the noise. It doesn't dampen any noise. In fact, it might amplify it. So they're just typical standard buildings, CMU block buildings that you see on most plants. The cost increase has a lot of different factors to it, and it's not all that building. Some of it is just the refinement of some of the different controls and the information we got from Lintech. And I had a breakdown of that a while back, and I'm going to have a hard time putting my finger on it. And if you recall, the original cost was the 3.2 million or whatever it was, the 3 million. That was based on the facility planning, which was completed in 2017, 2018, so a couple years ago. So some of it's just price increases we've seen since then, value of the dollar stuff.
Okay.
And then some of this is, we make estimates based on what we've seen, but until we get bid prices, we just don't know what the contractors are going to do. It depends on what contractors bid. It could be if everybody's hungry, we get great prices. From what we're seeing in a lot of areas, the COVID-19 is actually depressing costs. So costs are kind of going down. Some work has dried up, so it's making contractors a little bit hungry. There's no guarantee that'll hold, but that's kind of what we're seeing right now.
Okay. Well, hearing everything. Go ahead.
I can follow up with additional information on what those increases were. I know I had a summary of that from my discussions with the engineer that put that together, and I'm rambling and stalling because I'm trying to find it, and I'm not going to find it in time. So I can get that to you if you'd like to know that later. But
I'm assuming that we're kind of in a time crunch as well to get this hammered out and to figure out.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I wanted to put this. Normally, I don't put a lot of design decisions on a council agenda, but this is kind of a big one that we need a go on because this is one of the last critical path design elements that we need to have a decision made so that we can proceed with the final documents and then get that onto our schedule. And we're looking to have that final design complete May 22nd, which just gives us a few weeks here to finish out whatever option we select.
Okay. Well, council, obviously I don't have a vote on this, but my recommendation would be to go with option 2. The reason being is if we go with option 3 and have those out to the elements, how long will it be before we start racking up bills as far as replacement costs of those outdoor panels? that's just my thought. I think we may end up saving money in the long run if we go with option 2 instead of option 3. But go ahead and discuss amongst yourself what you guys think.
This is Ken Jans. I got a question. The fan sitting outside, what direction are those mufflers pointed?
That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure how they work. The design engineer on that one would be better than able to answer that question, but I can get back to you on that. I don't know. They may be unidirectional. I don't know if they're out pointed a certain direction, depending on how they're put together. So there may not be an actual direction, or there may be, but I'd have to check on that one.
Okay, I'm just wondering because maybe in the future there could be houses to the north. I know there can be some to the east. I know somebody who lives to the south. And most of them would, if they were pointed to the west, at least it'd be pretty open that way.
Yep, I'll check into that and see if that makes a difference. From what I'm told, we have intake mufflers and we have exhaust mufflers both. You get noise from both of those. And then with the enclosures, it does make quite a bit of difference even in an exterior unit where, you can stand next to them and not be blown out with them. With both of those. So I will check on that though.
All right, thank you.
I'm a little concerned with the overall cost. We've gone from 3 million to 3.2, and now we're talking 3.6. Every time we seem to discuss this, we found another $100,000 that is going to be in there. Realizing we have 350 households, we're going to be hitting these people an extra $100,000 per household, which is significant. So I'm concerned about our overall costs and watching the dollars as much as we can.
Yep, I understand that, Doug, and we're doing everything we can to. We're not building the Taj Mahal, so we're doing what we can to keep things cost effective and hence the building alternatives here. I do hear your concern though.
Okay, thank you.
Can we down the road, if we're in the middle of the construction process and say we do pick option 3, down the road, if we come back and the bids come back a lot less than what we thought they were, can we always change that to put a building up there?
Technically, but the design difference between no building and some building is a lot more than some building and bigger building. Because you won't, if we put no building in the design documents, there's the sub has no structural guy on board for a sub if he needs it, no mason on board. The design details are not in the plan, so those would have to be developed and added.
What if we went the opposite direction from a option 2 to option 3?
That would change mostly your equipment selection. So you would have to go from the contractor would have bid let me speak right, would have bid interior enclosures. And so to go from 2 to 3, now he would have to change his equipment from an interior to an exterior enclosure. My guess is you would not see the savings at that point that you would if you would have had it in there during the bid. There's an old adage a colleague and I were just discussing today on how it's 10 cents on the dollar if it's a change order versus a bid price. You'll never get back everything in a change order because there's not the advantage of competitive bidding for those. So
for sure.
Since we didn't have a handout, would you refresh my memory as to what option 1, 2, and 3 are again?
Yes, option 1 is a full building that encloses both the boilers and the electrical and control room. Alternative 2 is building just for the electrical and controls, and the blowers would be on a concrete pad outside. And then option 3 is no building at all. Blowers and electrical and controls are all outside in exterior rated cabinets.
in the bid and it comes in too expensive, we could strike that and go with option 2. Or
That's a possibility. I would want to.
if we went option 2 in the bid, we cannot do option 1.
But you could do option 1 the same as you could do option 2. Switching between 1 and 2, and I want to confirm this with my design engineer to make sure I'm not missing something that would change with those. But the biggest difference between 1 and 2 is merely the size of the building. So I don't think there would be as big a change other than, again, deducts and adds on a change order. You don't get the same benefit as you do in a bidding scenario. My point though was the contractor.
If we did option 2 and other things come in less, then in order to go to option 1, we would be able to do that still under the loan, or we would be doing it totally out of rate.
No, I think you'd still be able to do it under the loan. It would just be a change order to the contract. If it still meets the requirements and should be eligible for the funding as it is, it would just be a change in the design selection.
Changes cost money.
They tend to, yeah. Yep. But now we will have a schedule of values with the project, so the contractor is limited to how much he can quote unquote gouge us, because he'll have submitted some schedule values for the different components. So, if the base building is $200 a square foot and he's asking for 7,000 a square foot, well, we can call him on that. Or at that time, you just decide, well, that's too much, and we're not going to do this change order. So the contractor has some incentive to not gouge, but.
What was the engineering estimate for option 1?
I think I have it written down as 660.
660, you just said.
Yeah, 660 is what we had in there for the building floors. It's very deceiving because that's the building and everything in it. So it's everything from the HVAC to the floors.
What was the cost for option 2?
Option 2 was a savings of about 90,000 estimated over the option 1.
Which would make it 570.
Right. Yep.
On a $3.6 million bid is $90,000 really worth having to deal with replacement costs on stuff or noise complaints? I don't believe so. I favor option 1. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards it. When we first started talking about this, I kind of misunderstood, I guess, and thought that the structural part of the building was what upped it. And that was unacceptable for a building to cost that much. So, if it's only going to save us $90,000, I don't know if it's going to be worth it in the long run. Don't have any other option, but that's one. If you make that a motion, I'll second it. There no more discussion?
Any other discussion? I think that's great, great discussion that you guys are having right now. I think this is what Wes is looking for, especially to see where we stand on the project. And I mean, as much as we want to save our community as much money as possible, there's a give and take for that. And part of that is making sure that there's a quality of essentially the whole wastewater treatment plant. So I appreciate you guys getting involved with this. So is there any other discussion?
I will add one other thing too, since we're talking about potential changes. There is always the option once the contractor is selected, no matter how the bids come back, to go to that contractor and ask him, hey, is there anything we call value engineering that you see where you could save money? And it might be something where save this much. Maybe he'd come back and say, no, I can save you 300,000 if you get rid of half that building. I don't know. That is always an option to work with the contractor, and they're usually willing to work with us on stuff like that.
Perfect.
In option 1 and 2, all the mechanical stuff will be inside. What's the difference? We're adding square footage for what purpose?
You're adding square footage to put the fans inside.
Yeah, so you have some of the benefits that you would with the controls inside. With your blowers in an interior space, they're heated and they're cooled. To a certain extent, climate controlled, so it helps with the longevity of the equipment. Now, blowers do a lot better outside than electrical and control equipment does. But inside does provide some longevity to that equipment, helps protect it from the elements, and there is some sound attenuation as well. But I think I would probably say the primary benefit is protection of the equipment, and when you need to work on it, it's in an enclosed space, much easier to work on and easier to do.
Perfect.
How much does a blower cost and what's lifespan on it?
Blower cost. That's a good question. And I'm about to pull up the spreadsheet here. I mean, I can get you better numbers, or I can get you numbers, or you can wait for numbers while I pull up my spreadsheet here.
I have no problem waiting. I mean, if this is a decision that we need to do tonight, then I'd rather have the numbers now than after we vote.
Agreed.
That's good information to have before we vote.
Yep.
And like working with a lot of blower systems and stuff with Pioneer through the years and stuff. When we moved ours inside, a significant change in maintenance was big. You don't have water getting into the blower. You have leaks and stuff like that. And, and I've seen where minimal maintenance, that they just, replacing belts and greasing. Otherwise you start putting them outside, looking at bearings being wet and rusty and belts even getting worse than what they would be. So I think that, I don't know what type of blower he's talking about, but I think anything would give you 5 to 10 years probably.
Yeah, I would concur. I'm looking at my spreadsheet here. It doesn't look like we have that broken out, because that is actually a part of the package that Limtech provides. So Limtech has given us a package cost of like $900,000 for their whole system, and that includes the blowers. I don't have a breakout on that, but yeah.
I will say, and I know it's not your fault, Wes, but as a city council member who's responsible for making an informed decision, it's kind of hard to do that when we're getting lump sum for bids and we're not getting itemized. A blower is a big cost for this project. I should be able to know what that is, along with just the structural part of the building.
Yep. And I apologize that I'm not the design engineer that's been talking with Limtech, and he may have received some breakdown from them. I'm looking in the files for it. But I'm not seeing it as of yet.
How many blower units are there total?
I believe there's 4. Because they blow both the lagoons into the aeration unit for the Limtech system.
And they would all be placed close enough that they could be inside one building. Is that the plan?
Yep, and that's why Limtech provides those, because they're provided for the blowing of the polishing reactor for the Limtech system, and then we just seal off of them to run the blowers in the lagoons. I mean, it's not much different than what we have today, where the blowers are located in that small building, and then the piping is run to the lagoons. The new building is going to be right to the south of that old building, and then the polishing reactor will be right behind it. So.
What company gave us the bid for the blowers?
Limtech. And that's the supplier furnisher of the Limtech system.
Wes, did you say the 22nd was when we were hoping to get that final design taken care of?
Yes, and that kind of goes to my next thing, where we'll talk about schedule a little bit. But we're shooting to have the final documents on file somewhere around the week of the 22nd. We need to have them on file prior to our putting out notice to bidders, which would be the 1st of June.
Okay. Well, council, I think from what I am getting, we got two things going on. We got several people thinking that option one is going to be the best option, and then I'm also hearing that we want to know what the cost of the individual blowers cost, and that might be something that maybe we need to think about. If we can't get those tonight, that we need to have a meeting before the 22nd.
I would say it's up to you whether this decision needs to be a council action or if it can be council consensus outside of a council action. I don't know if, correct me if I'm wrong, nothing in here needs to be an actual action council-wise, like a resolution.
Right.
It's just direction to your engineer on how you would like to proceed with design. So we can do that by email. That's fine with me. If we can get you this information and follow up after that, that would be fine.
Okay. And she said that you would be correct on that. So, council, how do you want to proceed on this?
My opinion is we wait until we get the numbers.
Okay.
If a blower is $10,000 a piece and they're a total of $40,000, well, it makes sense to do a $90,000 building. If they're $400 a piece, well,
you're gonna be closer in the $10,000 range. The blowers are a pretty significant unit.
Well, if we're going to be closer in the $10,000 range, then I'm going to go off with option one. You're already at $40,000 in equipment sitting outside.
Okay.
So I would make a motion
okay.
to go with option one.
All right. We got a motion sitting out there for option one, with Wes telling us that we're going to be closer to $10,000 per blower on that. Is there a second?
Second.
Was that Doug?
Yes.
Oh, Steve. Okay, so we got a motion by Alex, second by Steve. Let's go with Megan.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay, so it sounds like Wes, we're gonna want to try to bid out option number one with that.
Okay. I will confirm that cost range and get you that. If for some chance I'm wrong or you want to switch that midstream, all you gotta do is let me know.
All right, sounds.
We'll make it work. So.
Sounds good. That brings us to item 7D. We're needing to set the bid date and authorize publication of the notice to bidders.
Yes, and so this is the next one, and what we're gonna, it's been a flurry of emails and coordination on the schedule here in the last week, and especially the last couple of days. So what we've got is about half a dozen different balls up in the air that are impacting our schedule. We've got the floodplain permit requirement that was put on us last week that we weren't expecting. We've got State Historical Preservation Office had to concur with our environmental impact. SRF has to issue their finding of no significant impact. We've got notices and for the hearings for the bidding process. The SRF environmental clearances, I didn't mention that. Anyway, there's a big spider web of interacting dates, and everybody needs this one or that one to finish their work. All that said, I sent Deb kind of an updated breakdown schedule because I was having trouble getting my head around it. And so originally we were looking to need to set that bid date today at this meeting based on some of the approvals that are still outstanding and their expected windows of when they're supposed to get back to us. It didn't gain us anything to set those bid dates today. So I think we're going to need to set those bid dates and put that on the agenda for the June,
June 1st.
meeting?
Yep, June 1.
June 1st, yeah. So we'll put that on the June 1st date. And we'll see in this next month if everybody gets their stuff in line and to us and that we can still make that. We're gonna push for that. So with that June 1st date, the overall schedule, then we would set the bid date for June 30th, and then we would award on the July 6th meeting. Is that the correct meeting, Deb?
That would be correct. The first Monday of July would be the 6th. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know if the holiday on the 4th, if we would still have that meeting on the Monday, but if so, then that would be when we would be awarding.
Okay.
That's keeping our fingers crossed that everything lines up between all the different people involved in this. But so with that, you may not be aware, our compliance schedule for our APDS permit is actually an older version. I talked to the DNR guy today. They don't really put intermediate compliance dates in these anymore, and our case is one of the reasons why. We were supposed to have this contract awarded May 1st, but because of all the things we've been waiting on, that didn't happen. So we called them prior to that and said, hey, what do we do? And they said, well, if you can get it awarded in the next couple months, that's fine, because it's not a big deal. That's why they don't put them in permits anymore. But the bigger deal is our compliance date of June 1st. Now, going with a bid date and award in early July, that's starting to cut into our construction period and essentially limiting the contractor on when they want to, or the time they have to build. That concerns me for a couple of reasons. One is if you shorten the contractor's time to build, you can see higher costs. And it also runs the risk that if the contractor doesn't get his stuff done and that compliance date comes, now you're subject to enforcement actions from DNR because you haven't met your compliance limit. So I talked to the MPDS guy today, finally got a hold of him. He is telling me that there are some options that if it looks like we're not going to get that done by June 1st, or what I would read into this as, or if our contractors say that it's going to cost more to get it done by then, that we do have the option to extend that time to keep it up to a year. I think that's a little bit excessive, but we would have to jump through some hoops and pay an $85 fee, but I think that would probably be worth it to gain us the time to finish out the project. So I was really worried until I talked to him, but that makes me feel a lot better that we're going to get this to work and work well. So again, that's just kind of set date for you guys and where we're at, but right now we're looking at setting those dates in the June meeting and then awarding the bidding period during June and awarding that in the July meeting.
Okay.
So I think there's some other things that Allers and Cooney, as your counsel, are going to be getting you an engagement letter to write all those resolutions for that public bid period. I called them as well yesterday and today, making sure that they're aware of the time crunch that we have to get this thing bid and let. So I don't know if there needs to be a special meeting in May here to be able to have those resolutions ready by the June meeting, but he's going to be working with Deb and hopefully getting back to us on that, letting us know what they need to do that.
And we got the I don't know what you called it, the letter from Eilers today that I needed to sign off on, so we're good on that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, all right, good. All right, good.
Um,
Yeah, it,
so what I'm hearing from you, Wes, is that item 7D to set the bid date, we're pushing that out to June 1st to make the June 30th decision. And then,
and same with 772.
okay, perfect. Do you have any more discussion for us about those two items?
Well, I don't think so. I think I talked enough probably.
Okay,
But I'm open to any questions if you guys have any for sure.
perfect. Council, what do you have to say? Hearing none, I guess we thank you, Wes, for giving us an update today. We'll go ahead and move on to item 7F. In front of you, you got the Iowa Department of Revenue permit application for cigarettes, tobacco, nicotine, and vapor. This is for Casey's. It is looks like it's a pretty typical application.
Move approval of the cigarette tobacco permit.
Perfect. Moved by Steve.
Ken says yes. Second.
Second by Ken. Doug. Megan. Alex.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Tobacco license approved. Moving on to 7G, authorization for mayor to sign contract with municipal management. In front of you, you should have a letter from Stephen Hively of the Municipal Management Corp in Madrid.
Move approval, move that the mayor be authorized to sign the contract. He has the appropriate expertise and is willing to do the work provided he doesn't die or become physically unable to do the work.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. They give me a lot of hope. Moved by Steve.
That's what he said in the contract. I think he's talking about himself, though.
Okay.
Yep.
Moved by Steve.
Second. I don't know.
Second by Ken. Let's go with Steve.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Ken.
Yeah.
Contract approved. Item 7H, discussion of an ordinance restricting campers located on private property. This was one that was brought up in last month's agenda. A little bit of homework for you guys to do. And I think there were some complaints about people living in their campers in some other areas as well, as far as where they're parked, etc. What discussion have you guys brought back today?
So I went ahead and took a drive around town and took 28 pictures and sent it to the council members.
Yep.
Asking them by what they thought without looking at any of the ordinances over there that they produced for those other three towns, yes or no. And I got 3 responses.
Okay.
And including myself, well, 4, including myself. So looking at those, I only got 5 of those that seemed like questionable. And 2 of them said yes, and 2 of them said no.
Okay.
And so we could look at those pictures again and kind of look at that. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of those 28 were split decisions, like 3 to 1.
Okay.
Yes or no. So a lot of them were campers or trailers or equipment parked in people's yards in different areas. Some were by alleys, some were in their front yard, some were by their garages on concrete, some were by garages who don't have concrete, but at least they were, to maybe look at.
Okay.
It's kind of touchy.
Do you have any suggestions as far as changes to the ordinance that you think we need to make?
Well, I just think, by looking at it, it's kind of hard, you know.
Okay.
The guy might have it, and it might be next to the property line, you know, 5-6 feet, and not the 7 feet or whatever it is. So I mean, it's gonna be a hard call to make that, but some people parked them there for years,
For sure.
you know, and never moved them.
Okay.
So,
Did you do a tabulation of everyone's responses?
I do. I got a list here of who said yes and who said no.
I'd be interested in seeing that so that I have a better feeling. All I have is Doug's and my own so far.
Okay, I will send you mine and Alex's. I didn't get one tonight.
Nope. So you don't care, Megan?
It's not that I don't necessarily care. I don't feel that I should be telling a property owner what they should and shouldn't be doing with that property. As long as it is not an impediment for traffic or, you know, as long as there's no neighborly complaint about it, then I don't feel that that is something for me to judge somebody else's campers or trailers or whatnot that they have in their yard.
And I agree with that, Megan. I agree with that. There are probably a handful of these 28 pictures that would be either, are they living in it? It's parked in the parking area of the street, you know, it's been there for a while, or it's up on blocks and it's not moved for a long time.
Well, those are up on blocks. If it's on blocks, then it would be a violation because it has to be roadworthy according to the ordinance that we have. And so those we should be getting rid of.
Right. So like I said, probably out of the 28, there's a handful that are like that. Either that or they got equipment parked where we consider street parking and it's been there for months.
Perfect. What other discussion do we have on item 7H? All right.
I will do it and I will send everybody the yes and no's in an email of what I've got compiled here.
Perfect. Just make sure you blind carbon copy everybody. That way we're not all in the same email chain.
Correct.
Perfect. Moving on. Oh, go ahead.
Did you have any problems with an ordinance that says you cannot live in a trailer?
Well, I guess for me, it would be, why were they living in it? Are they living in it because they're remodeling their house? And so they're cutting expenses by not renting or getting a hotel while their house is being remodeled? Are they living in it because of the COVID-19 pandemic and not wanting to infect their children? Because possibly they're an essential worker? Because there's so many gray areas that you could constantly be trying to, I don't know, I just feel that it's impeding on a property owner's life.
Well, I think it is always unsafe to be living in a trailer if they're not made to be lived in. And so if you have a camper or a trailer on your yard, it can only be there as storage.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we are going to move on to item 7, Sidwell concept design. And if you look at it, it's got, I believe, 29 lots is the concept there, with the access easement going right down the middle as the main street. Is there any discussion related to this?
What would be the distance between the houses on lots 8 through 14 and the sewage lagoon?
Wes, are you still on here? I take that as a no.
Well, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
I have a
you're,
hard time finding my unmute button.
no, you're,
I don't have that offhand.
I think in the worst case situation, we'd end up taking out one tier, east-west tier of lots, shrinking it so that it's further north, so that there's more buffer space between the house and the lagoon.
Yeah, and that's a possibility. Obviously, the lagoons are there first, so if the lots are, if there's more benefit to do the lots with more of a buffer space, or maybe a deeper lot instead of 190 foot deep, maybe you lose one row of 25 and 26, 7 kind of those, and slide it a lot north, so now it's 330 feet deep. They give that buffer space there. That might be,
I think we have some options there, and that, other than that, the plan looks very reasonable, and I have no problem with sharing it with Sidwell.
any other discussion or motion to approve this concept design?
Has Sidwell seen this at all?
no, we have not shared it with them.
I move
Go ahead, Ken.
Did anybody talk to Sidwell about the option of purchasing it, or the option of the road going down the middle, just the road going down the middle or to the side?
Yeah, so last meeting we discussed he is okay with the road going straight down the middle. He from our last meeting, he had to talk to his boss lady about the possibility of selling that. We have not heard back or set up another meeting yet to ask him how much it would cost if we were to buy that out.
Okay. Well, if we were to consider buying it, we'd be buying it at agricultural land prices.
Yep.
And not at development prices. So, if he wants to go into a partnership with us, or wants to sell it, or wants to just take this concept and run with it, I think I have no problem with any of those options. We can share the concept. I think we should approve the concept and share it with him, and let him decide what he wants to do.
Yep. A reminder: this is just a concept design. This has nothing to do with a preliminary plat or anything like that. So the reason this hasn't been shared is because we have not approved the actual concept design to give him. Once we do that, once we approve it, we will get this sent off to him, and hopefully set up a meeting to figure out if he does indeed want to sell it. I know he's got a little hesitation about it because it's his little hobby farm, and he did suggest that if he were to sell this, he'd have to find another some more farmland somewhere. So did you have a motion, Steve?
I move that we approve this as a concept and make it a public document for sharing.
Okay, so that was moved by Steve. second by Doug. Steve?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah.
Concept design has been approved, and we'll get that shared publicly with the Sidwells. Item 7J, discussion and action on truck replacement. I don't know if we've gotten any more information from Tony. We have not, is what Deb is indicating to me. So this may be something that we have to push to our June 1st meeting. Is there any?
I think Doug had some good questions that he asked earlier, and that may be direction that from the council to Tony, so that he can keep moving forward.
Absolutely, and I can. Do you want me to pull up those questions or just forward them to you guys, BCC?
It's on the agenda, so we can certainly go over them and make decisions on them if we want to take the time.
For sure. Let me pull up my email here. Having a little bit of a rough time with internet access here, so let me see if I can't get that.
Doug asked, do we need to size up a larger vehicle, which is what it seems happening? Did we look at the state vehicle surplus auction to see if there were any used vehicles available? And Tony recommended this size of vehicle. I don't know whether he could do with the next size smaller or not. I think that's something that Alex and Megan, since they're chairs of committees, should talk to Tony about and come up with what they think is reasonable.
The other thing on that, Steve, talking to the public auction, I think we had this discussion right after it first happened, and we knew that we were going to take the insurance check for that. Was a lot of time when you go to a public auction, correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but we were saying that a lot of time you are going to put more money in than you would if you were to buy a new truck, just because those public DOT auctions sometimes have higher mileage on them, and need parts replaced a lot quicker than we would with a new truck. Alex, what's your input on that?
That's what Tony had said, and I do agree with him. A lot of times when a government entity is putting their vehicle on auction, it is because they replaced it with a newer one, and either the bigger one or that one had problems. I feel as though, since it's going to be, if I remember correctly, the bid was for like a 1-ton or an F450 or that size. It's not the whole size dump truck.
I think it was a 3,500, 1-ton.
Yeah, which that can be used a lot more throughout the year, easier access to be doing stuff in the alley and whatnot. I would suggest, my opinion would be, just go with new.
I agree with
that.
Get all that.
And go with the size that Tony was recommending?
I think, yeah.
Stepping up?
Yeah, I think a 1-ton is going to handle, especially if they put a dump bed on it. It's smaller than the white freight trucks we have, and it's bigger than Tony's gray truck. So I think when I was plowing snow, I thought it was a 1-ton. And if you're going to put salt in the back, anything like that, I would recommend the stronger chassis.
I second that.
So are you guys wanting to make a motion on that, or are we wanting to discuss in more depth with Tony.
Tony did put down on the Public Works report, if I saw it correctly, that the Carl Chevrolet and the truck equipment were the lowest bid.
Correct.
I think that was one of the questions we had last time, wasn't it? Was the bid
Yes. Yep.
for the three? So
Yep.
the question I have is, we damaged the small pickup. We are not replacing it, and we're looking for something to be more utilized or more utility functioning than what the small pickup was.
Correct, because I think we're wanting to get rid of the current, I think they call it the Red Rocket or something like that.
Just the rocket,
Just the Rocket, which is the current dump
the flatbed.
or the flatbed that we have, because Tony said that one was about to go out. So just to have a more reliable vehicle year-round that can handle mostly everything that he needs to use it for. Any more discussion, or is there a motion to approve the Carl Chevrolet quote and what is the other one?
Truck equipment.
And truck equipment?
Those are the two lowest. I think the truck equipment is who Carl uses to outfit the truck.
Yep.
Well, we have a bid.
Yep.
And if there is consensus between the chairs of the enterprise committee and the facilities committee and the mayor that we proceed because it's a good bid, then the only thing that needs to be decided is how is it going to be financed. And typically we break up the cost between water, sewer, roads, the general fund. But I think that before I'm ready to vote in favor of accepting the bid, I would like to see how it's going to be apportioned fairly between those funds. And that would be committee chairs getting together with the mayor and hashing it out.
We can certainly do that. Megan and Alex, if we want to reconvene via email or text after the meeting, we can come up with a game plan if that works for you guys.
And are we going to finance it out of cash on hand? Are we going to try to get it financed through the dealership or through the bank? Those are questions that need to be looked at also.
For sure. I didn't hear you, Alex. Did that sound good to you?
Yeah, that's fine. Text or email.
Okay. Megan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, item 7J, what we will do is myself, Alex, and Megan will come up with a game plan on how we will finance that. And then we will report back to the council on our June 1st meeting, and we'll make sure we have an answer for everyone. Okay. Moving on to item 7K. I think this is kind of my area here. Decisions concerning City Hall operations post COVID-19 lockdown. So just to give everybody a brief history of what we've done here. We started off with closing down the City Hall, and people could only call if they had any complaints or needed permits or anything. We'd get them the correct paperwork. We'd email that over. And then as things started going south a little bit more, I went ahead and made sure there was only one person here at a time. And that reasoning was because both of the desks are not 6 feet apart, and we would be breaking social distancing. And I know both our city clerk and deputy clerk had some concerns over underlying health issues as well, and not feeling that comfortable working in a closed space. With things starting to open up, Steve wanted to know what we were going to do going forward, and I wanted to get your guys' input on that. I know if we were to move Dee's desk to the council desk over here in the corner, they would still be sharing the same printer and printing things off, so they'd still be touching the same stuff over and over again. So that was one of my concerns. But I'd like to hear what you guys think we need to do if we keep things the way they are, which has been working smoothly, I think. Deb, do you think they've been working fairly smoothly?
Sure.
She says sure. But I would appreciate your guys' discussion on this item.
I think when we decide to open to the public, we should take the standard protection, install some speed shields, maybe put in a swinging door up by the front so that people can't wander all over the office, which helps us sanitize the public area, and put up a sign that says only one person allowed in at a time, or one family group in at a time. And we decide when we open based upon what is best for staff and what our adjacent cities are doing. If all the adjacent cities are open, and we don't have the speed shields and we don't have everything else set up, then we shouldn't open up. But if we can get the speed shields in, get D moved, maybe get a door installed, then we may be ready.
Yep. And I think too, I've had some conversation with Dee as well, that when we make these decisions, I think it's best to make these decisions permanent. And I think it was Deb that I was talking to you about this, and you were giving me some pointers. But as soon as you walk in, you know, you got that L shape, the L portion of the city desk. And so essentially that would be where people stop to talk, whether it be for a complaint or whatever they're getting a permit. That would, as Steve said, prevent anybody coming in and walking around and spreading germs anywhere. But that would also be the area that we would put that partition, the plexiglass partition in, and then adjacent to that is where we would put that swinging door in, so they couldn't get back there, or it deters them from coming back here. I foresee a lot of changes in the way people do business from now on, whether that be online or coming into these places that have permanent, what I call them spit shields or sneeze shields. So if that's something the council is okay with, I think we can start there. But I also want to make sure our staff feels safe and secure where they're at, because I do not want to put them in any harm's way. I want to be an advocate for them. So if they don't feel comfortable opening up or don't feel comfortable being both in the same area, I think we have to come up with another game plan. Any other thoughts?
So are they wearing masks while looking that close together?
They are currently not working in the same space at the same time.
Okay, so if they went to work together at the same time, if one has an issue or the other, would they wear a mask then, or?
They could potentially. I don't know how comfortable they would be doing that, especially since they would be here for a 8-hour day, or in this case, a 15-hour day for Deb wearing that mask the whole time. But then again, that's something we can absolutely discuss with them.
Claustrophobic too, so that
Yeah.
doesn't work either.
And Deb says she's claustrophobic too, so. What other thoughts do you guys have?
I think the sneeze guards and the sneeze door and some signage to so one person at a time would be my first step.
For sure.
And kind of play it by ear from there. I agree with it.
For
That
sure.
option.
And the building D to the corner.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We can do some rearranging here for sure. We will make sure that we also see what our surrounding communities are doing and get their input as well. But once again, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page and we are an advocate for our employees here and that they are safe and healthy. All right. Any other discussion? The other thing is I don't have a timeline right now. My thought is we're probably going to be in the same boat till the end of May. And then from there, we'll go ahead and make a decision about opening back up. But we got to get those things in place beforehand. So, all right, moving on. Item 8 should be 8A, complaints. Deb? She doesn't have any formal complaints. Are there any complaints from city members? We'll start with Steve.
None.
Alex?
None.
Megan?
No.
Doug?
No.
Ken?
The only one I had was a resident complaining about kids hanging out at the high school.
Okay.
And apparently the high school's been contacted. High school put a note out. But we do have a curfew, correct?
As far as people 18 and younger or 16 and younger? Yeah, I believe there's a state curfew or at least a county curfew that they can't be out past, I think it's midnight or 11.
Okay, so they were complaining that sometimes it lasted past that time.
Okay.
And then what about a noise ordinance? Do we have any type of noise ordinance?
Not really.
So
No.
11 o'clock, I think,
No.
on the weekends and 10 during the week.
Okay.
There you go.
So I told that person, I do believe we had those ordinances and they had every right to complain all night, all the police, have them come down.
Absolutely. Anything else, Ken?
Nope,
Okay.
nothing else.
And then the last one is me. I did earlier this week, I made a proclamation to shut down the roads around the football field on the 23rd. The school is planning on still having graduation and compliance with the governor's restrictions that she has in place. They're planning on bringing in a production company that is going to put up a big stage in the street, and then the cars will it'll be like a drive-in movie theater, so everybody will be in their own cars until a name is announced. They'll get out of the car, they'll come up on stage, they will grab their diploma. I do not believe that they're going to be handed out or shaking hands in that case. But beforehand, there will be a parade, and we're still, this is still very preliminary, I believe. So, but it's going to start over in Collins at 5:30, come over here in town, and then they'll immediately go into the commencement ceremony. The road closure will happen between 5 and 8. That gives them a little bit of time to set up the stage. It may take a little bit longer than that, so we'll have to play that by ear. But that is what I got. Anybody have any conversation about that? All right, hearing none, we're moving on to consent agenda item number 9. So we have the meeting minutes from April 3rd. And I believe.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
We didn't go around to all the council members. All we did was go around to the council members and ask them if they had any complaints.
All right, we'll go around again. Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
I sent an email out to everyone concerning the planting of street trees.
Yep.
And we, Roman's project has been approved, so he's going to be starting to place street trees. I advised them what the ordinance says, and because the ordinance is somewhat vague, I think we should have a resolution that specifies who's doing what. One of the requirements in the ordinance is that if there is not a curb, then the tree is 10 foot from the property line. That creates a problem in that it puts us right where the curb would be if there was going to be a curb. So we may need to look at amending the ordinance in addition to adopting a resolution. And it didn't make it for this agenda because I got it in too late. But I hope it's on next time, and everybody should have a copy of it.
Okay, perfect.
Also, since I didn't make it in time, it brought up my question for me as to what is the closing of the agenda? What are we going to have officially for a closing time, so that if you get something in ahead of time, it's on, and if you don't get it on in time, then it's off?
Deb and I have had that discussion prior. We never made anything official with that. But I would think if you got it on the Monday before, that gets everything out in time for her to make the packet, for her to post the meeting, and for us to read through everything to make sure that there are no changes. So as long as you get everything in the Monday before, we'll look at the agenda. We'll make sure everything looks good on that. If we have any changes that we need to make as far as the wording or anything like that, we can make that, and then we'll post that publicly on the Thursday or Friday before the meeting.
So close of business on Monday is when the agenda is set.
If that works for you guys.
Go as far as Wednesday.
We need to notify Wes and other people if we're going to have an official policy, because he had 3 items on the agenda today that didn't have anything in writing on.
Okay.
And and we also have reports.
Yep.
That we need to have
by a certain time so that they can get in the packet. And we had a couple of those that didn't make it.
They were warned ahead of time.
So,
Deb says they were warned ahead of time too.
well, let's make it official, and if they don't get it in by, close of business on Wednesday, that, it's not gonna be accepted.
Anybody have any backlash with that?
No.
Are we saying Wednesday or Monday?
Wednesday for the reports
Okay,
that are required to be filed by the various departments,
okay,
because that gives all day Thursday then to get them into the packet.
Yep.
Get it on the agenda. Any new items that are being submitted that are not a routine item is close of business on Monday.
perfect. So Wednesdays when the reports have to be in, otherwise they're not going in, and the Monday's going to be new items.
Noted by your engineer, is that the preceding Monday then?
Yes,
Yes,
Okay, I got it.
perfect. Anything else, Steve?
well, I think there was, but I can't remember what it is, so let's move on.
All right, sounds good. Alex,
Nope,
Megan,
Nope.
Doug?
Do we know if farmer's market is going to tentatively start or any details on that?
I've not heard anything from Lauren yet, but I'll make sure that I reach out to her. The guidelines that the governor laid out of reopening everything last Monday says that farmers markets will be open, but they have to follow social distancing guidelines, and they have to only be, I believe it's food related products that have to be sold. That being said, I know the Des Moines Farmers Market is going virtual, and they're doing virtual pickups. So if somebody's ordering something, they drive down to where the farmers market's supposed to be. They'll pick it up, put it in their car, and leave. Is that something that we would like to follow as a city?
I'd say let's get a farmer's market started before we put restrictions on it.
Okay.
So I'm looking here at Facebook and she just put on here, Sunday, May 17th, 1 to 3 p.m. on Trotter Boulevard.
All right. I will reach out to her and get her, see what she's planning to do.
Okay.
And then I'll reach back out to you guys.
We had talked at one point also about maybe changing potential garbage companies. Probably there's good acting on that. I know that was about lead time, but probably should get that in the works as well.
Yeah, I think our contract goes to November 2021, if I remember correctly on that.
I'm sorry, I thought it was that.
And that's right. I think we should be starting to gather up some information as far as garbage services that would come to Maxwell. And then we'll go ahead and throw out a bid to people to see if we can't get better service here in town. Anything else, Doug?
One other.
Yep.
One other thought. We are still short a city worker. Have we got a plan in place to start moving in that direction, or what's the status of it?
I don't believe we are headed in that direction right now. We'll make sure that we get with Tony to see what that city worker looks like, what he'd like to see that person's position look like. And I did see some back and forth as well as far as, do we make that city worker a volunteer EMS, fire, whatever we need to do. So I think that's something that we need to think about heavily, especially if we look at the EMS reports right now, where we had 11 calls, and we only showed up to 7 of them.
Okay, that was all I had, thank you.
Okay. Ken?
I think it'd be a good idea for, the mayor and Doug and to work with Tony on, developing the, job descriptions.
Okay. All right, Ken.
Willing to throw you under the bus, Doug.
Understood.
Ken?
I have nothing, I'm sorry.
All right. And then I already did mine, so we'll move on to item 9, consent agenda. Looks like the April 3rd meeting, Alex and Megan were absent on this one.
On April 1st?
April
I've
3rd?
never been,
What was that?
I've never been absent.
This was testing the system.
That was-
Oh, this was us testing the system. Okay, that makes sense now. This one, so is there a motion to approve this
Move
one?
approval of the April 3rd minutes.
Moved by Steve, second by
Second
Doug,
by Ken.
second by Ken. Ken,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me look at these ones here. The April 6th meeting and bills. Everybody,
I have some corrections on the April 6th
okay,
minutes
okay,
under item 7A.
okay,
It says it's a resolution approving Rock Creek Ridge Estates Plat 2. The last, sentence of that says there's a 2.25% increase, which is slightly under what was budgeted.
Right
And
now?
Gas approved the mayor to sign the law enforcement services contract. I think that's 2 separate items.
okay.
Am I correct, Deb?
Yep,
Yes,
So that needs to be corrected so that the lettering, is approved.
all right,
The
so,
lettering is correct.
so, Steve is wanting to move, the last couple sentences of item 7A. Looks like there was two items that were joined together. One of them, which is the law enforcement services contract, and the other one's the actual resolution approving Rock Creek Ridge Estates Plat 2. Any other corrections?
Yeah, that's the only correction I found.
Okay. And is there a motion to approve those with that correction and the current bills?
So moved.
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Doug. Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Megan,
Yes,
Alex,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Consent agenda approved. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Move we adjourn and that the mayor make a declaration as to what he thinks. Whether he thinks the next meeting will be electronic or, in person.
Okay. I would suggest, we're still on the heavy side of the COVID stuff right now. Things are starting to open up a little bit. I would suggest we have one more virtual meeting And then in July, we start having normal city council meetings.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, so that was a motion to adjourn by Steve,
Second.
second by Megan. Megan,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Doug.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 8:49. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Yep, bye.